Bill Maher, who, by the way, when he's speaking, he did agree on a lot of things. And then he said, but I still think climate change is number one. I still think climate change is number one. Let me just read this to you. Bill Maher agrees with Trump that Department of Education should be abolished, not like kids are getting any smarter. Rob, is this the one that he talks about, Rahm Emanuel?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and play this clip. Go for it.
Byron Donald.
Education
pause it
has
right
to.
Glenn, thoughts?
The Department of Education needs to be shut down. I mean, I know Betsy DeVos, and she said, you walk around that place, and she said, it has nothing to do with local schools, has nothing to do with it. The teachers union and Department of Education are the reason our kids are being churned out and pushed out into the streets without an ability to read anything. Those two operations, Department of Education, wipe it out. We've got to break up the unions. The unions are pretty much just another NGO that something like USAID, if it was in a foreign country, would be enabling and sending money to.
Tom.
Well, married to a teacher and who taught in LA Unified as a union teacher before she got fed up and went to private schools. So I know of what I speak, and I've raised now 2 girls that have come through this, and I've done a lot of research on it. And there are 2 changes that would need to be made. And the first is merit-based accountability for teachers. Teachers need to be evaluated for their merit and their abilities like anybody else, and the ones that have poor attitudes or not abilities are no longer teachers. Simple. The union uses tenure to block the merit-based evaluation of the teachers. So number one,
but give the teachers also an ability to teach. Let them find the good ones that teach in their own way. And
Correct.
Let them teach it.
Correct. On the effectiveness
Yes.
that teachers, exactly, completely. That's point one. And number 2 is there's a lot of stats that are out there that talk about the number of dollars per pupil, but they don't talk about is the actual impact dollars per pupil. In other words, they're funding $1 million DEI programs, say at a national level, or a school board is actually funding creation of alternative textbooks, and NGOs are getting that money. But then when you take, okay, there's 100 students here divided by 100 million, oh my gosh, that's $1 million per student. That's not what actually gets the student. You have to look at the teacher salary and the actual investment in the school, and you'll find that. And so, number one, you got to break the union, or if you keep the union because you can't move it, you got to have merit-based teaching in place, number one. And number 2, you then have to go back and not worry about the woke and DEI programs at the school boards and go back to simple, hey, we need to elevate the capabilities of these students as referenced by the national test scores and make the school boards accountable to the macro test scores. If the school boards are accountable to macro test scores and the teachers are accountable to being measured on their merit and effectiveness, those 2 things will move it forward in America. But you also need a third thing. And people like to talk about it, but there is a third thing out there, which is parental impact. And how people parent and the value that people put on ensuring that their kids are at school and how early you give them a cell phone and what you make them do. You don't have to have a lot of money to help them focus and to put guardrails around them of what they do after school hours in terms of just studying and doing basic homework. So there has to be participation from the parents. And if those 3 points were pushed on a national level, all of this improves. And by the way, guess what I haven't even mentioned? Department of Education, because what do? They're just doing programs from up high at the federal level, and you don't need it. You absolutely don't need it.
Adam.
Yeah, Bill Maher's like, I don't even know what the Department of Education does. I don't think many of us do.
They don't.
Exactly. No, I think, something that Pat always talks about sense is that common sense will hopefully prevail. Whatever's happening in government right now, if you want to break down the whole Department of Government efficiency, a lot of it is not even necessarily efficiency, it's accountability. They're basically saying, I think it was, they talked about zero-based budgeting and basically going line by line. Like, what are we doing with this money right here? Where's this going? Who's spending, it's going Guatemala trans surgeries? What? We're doing puppet shows in Iraq? Like, where's all this money going? And I think that people are basically just starting to understand, all right, I don't know where this money is even freaking going. Hold on, what? We're giving We're not giving money to citizens in North Carolina or California. We're giving it to illegal immigrants in hotels in New York. These teachers unions that are basically not enabling kids to learn. Let's make sure to prioritize families and kids, not teachers unions. Let's prioritize, how about women, not trans women? Like, just common sense needs to prevail. And then what the Department of Government Efficiency will hopefully hold these people accountable and make sense where
And by the way, while
going.
you're saying this, gentlemen, for you, if you're married or you're dating a girl who watches the PBD podcast and loves Valuetainment, by the way, I am being stopped right now more than ever before with ladies that watch the PBD podcast. We did a market research. We realized it was because of Tom Ellsworth, but it's gone up a lot because of the interest and Tom being a family guy, and a lot of ladies want their husbands to be paying attention to Tom and what things we talk about here. There's requests of getting rid of Adam. A guy tweeted me the other day saying, look, don't ever make the mistake of getting rid of Adam. He is this. He starts building up how special Adam is. I'm like, oh, my God, Adam, stop. I thought it was Adam on the other end trying to sell me on himself. And I responded back. I said, I have some bad news for you. We just fired Adam, and he was devastated. Started campaigning, but unfortunately, Adam is back. And we're great to have him, and you guys know we love Adam, but at the same time, you know, this is about Valentine's Day for you and your wives. So let me get back to that message.
It was a nice love message, right?
Yes, it was. You got a little too much last week, and I'm trying to tone it back down for you.
Put me in my place, sir.
You don't need a lot of it. Sometimes when you do you're walking in clouds, and
we don't need that.
You know, Adam's a Hollywood guy, folks. You got to get used to that. But let me get back to you, gents. Valentine's Day, okay? Last week, we had the rhinestone shirt with the Valuetainment. You see the black one right there, Rob? Sold out like this. So, fellas, good for you for purchasing it for your wives, but that's been sold out. The one that we have now is the red one, red sweater with the VT logo on the front, and the Future Looks Bright on the back. The material is amazing, absolute amazing material. Rob, we still have some of the pink hats left. If you order today and you put the 2-day shipping, you will get this Valentine's Day, and the first 50 orders, again, special gift will be added in the box. Go place the order. That pink hat was a number 5 selling item we had last week. Not that one, the other one, the bottom left. That one was a number 5 best-selling item last week for Valentine's Day. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.